the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
Let's go now to Samantha in Middletown, Ohio. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning, Patrick.
Hi there. How can I be of service?
Well, so I'm the eldest of three kids. My brother is in his 30s and has come out as a trans woman. And I have two little girls under 2 years old, and one's about to have her first birthday. And I'm not really sure how to address it compassionately with my brother that he won't be invited to her birthday or to the house in general. I'm just not really sure what to do other than say nothing, and I don't know if that's good enough.
That's a dilemma, and I can understand why you'd be so hesitant. So I think, first of all, your instincts are correct for the benefit of protecting your children's innocence. That's paramount. And as mom, you've got to answer to God eventually for how well or how poorly you sought to defend their innocence. So I think you're doing the right thing. Okay. This is not, first of all, real. And I know that our society now is using terms that are detached from reality. A so-called trans woman is just a man dressed up as a woman. That's what it is. There are only two sexes, male and female. And I know you know that, but it's good to hear it reiterated in a world right now that just simply won't tolerate the truth. There's just two sexes, male and female. Jesus himself said that in Matthew chapter 19. In the beginning, God made them male and female. So the binary is it, male or female. So personally, I would not even use the term trans woman unless I put air quotes around it, because it's not a real term. It doesn't express something that's real. But to say this is a man who, for whatever his reasons, lusts, mental illness, emotional disorder. I mean, it could be any number of things. Dysphoria, gender dysphoria, really believes that he's a woman, or maybe he's just gaming the system and I'm not talking about your brother, by the way. Or maybe a given man is just trying to game the system and get a way to be around women in bathrooms and things like that. It's vulgar and gross to even think about that. But he's not a woman. I saw AOC on a video the other day saying trans girls are girls. No, they're not. A so-called trans girl is a guy, a boy, whatever, who's portraying himself as a girl. He's not a girl because he's a man. So the reason I spent a moment or two on this issue is I think part of the solution to this hysteria and this mania is to just deny the use of the term because it's false. And even if we use it as shorthand, well, he's a trans woman or he's a trans girl, or it's speaking the words of untruth. It's speaking the words of falsity. So I'm not unhappy or anything that you use the term. I'm saying is that I do believe that this is part of the solution in the long run, is not even play into the language or the abuse of the language. That leads me to my point here is that you want to be compassionate, you want to be loving, but if this were, let's say, your sister and she was suffering from anorexia and she was wasting away because in her own mind, she truly believed that she was fat and therefore had to do, binge and purge or whatever the way in which this might play itself out, because in her mind she was convinced that she was fat, that she had to deprive herself of food. That's going to end in death eventually. And because you love her and you want to be compassionate with her, the obvious wrong thing to do would be to say, well, I'm going to play into this delusion and agree with you that you're fat when you're really rail thin and you're emaciated in a dangerous way. That's the wrong way to help somebody who's in a situation like that. You don't play into their delusion. To help somebody who honestly, truly believes one thing that is true but really isn't, is to help them with the truth. And that's the highest form of compassion. And the best form of charity towards somebody is to tell them the truth. Now, your point, Samantha, as I understand it, is you want to tell the truth, but you want to do it in a way that is respectful and loving and compassionate. And I'm all for that. Let's be compassionate. Let's be loving. So however that takes its form, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's a letter. Sometimes letters can have a better effect because someone who receives the letter has time to think about it and ponder it, and that can always be a good thing. So I don't know what to tell you about that because I don't know the relationship you have with him. But however you do it, I want to affirm you that doing it in a compassionate, loving, respectful way is the way to go. But and I don't think you're in any danger of doing this, but for those listening who might be in this situation, don't shrink back from a conflict because it would be easier to say nothing and just let this person whom you love continue down a path of delusion and unhappiness. Better if you deliver the message and he gets angry or shuts off communication, as often happens, but better in the long run that you share the truth with him, because maybe you're the only person in his life who has the courage to do that. And even if you have to take some lumps as a result of it, you'll have a clear conscience, and you'll also be able to know that at least you said something, at least you tried to help him. And we'll pray to God that has a good effect on him. But those are my thoughts. Off the cuff, Samantha, what do you think?
I like the idea of the letter, because how often do you get letters in the mail anymore? And, I am very close. I was close with my brother, and I'm not really sure why he's gone down this path other than as a reaction to losing our father 2 years ago. But I told him in the beginning that I didn't affirm this and that a trans woman isn't a woman. So
right.
I've said that.
How did he react to that?
Kind of open mouth, like, okay. At Christmas Eve, I said, hello, brother. And he was like, it's sister. We'll get there.
What I would say is, I hope we get to the point where you recognize reality for what it is, but I'll never get there if you're saying that I will accept this ideology.
Right.
Go ahead, Samantha.
Right. Yeah. So he knows already that I don't accept this, but I haven't yet put my foot down and said, my ideas haven't changed, and I have 2 little girls at home, and you're not going to be part of their lives if this continues.
Because why on earth should anyone be expected to have to explain to their, I don't know how old your kids are, but let's say, 6, 8, 10 years old, you shouldn't have to explain to them why their uncle is dressed like a woman. They don't need to know about that. Eventually they will, but not now.
Yeah. My eldest is 2, so just getting the concept of saying uncle and aunt, that's a whole new concept. And to then switch it on them, I don't even want to go there. I want to protect them as much as possible. I mean, we don't even go to a library event anymore because they have someone that does the preschool curriculum that's trans.
This is it's metastasizing across society. And I never would have thought I'd ever live to see this phenomenon, but here we are. So you're doing the right thing, Samantha. You're doing the right thing to protect those little girls. Keep doing that.
Thanks, Patrick, and thanks for the recommendations. I'm going to probably write a letter or just, bite the bullet and set up a meeting with them and talk it out.
Yeah, I hope it goes smoothly. I mean, you never know. I would recommend a book by Helen Joyce called Trans, Trans. Excellent overview of the situation. I'd also recommend a book. It's called When Harry Became Sally.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a good book. That could be another useful tool for you.
Okay.
Ryan
Thank
Anderson.
you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Samantha. Thank you. You can join me by listening to The Patrick Madrid Show on the Relevant Radio app, live each weekday at 8 to 11 a.m. And thanks for listening.